Okay, so my number one favorite semi-occluded vocal tract exercise, SOVTE, is the lip trill. So people also call this lip buzzing, lip buzzes, and it goes like this. Now, of course, you can do this throughout the range, but a lot of times when people are just starting out with this, they really struggle to be able to sustain the sound. So let's talk about troubleshooting this. So first of all, if you get really good at these, you can do them over as much range and for as long as is comfortable for you. But if you're just starting out doing these, you might not be able to sustain it for very long. So you might want to just do it in little spurts. Now, if even that is too hard, there's several things you want to think about. One, are your lips relaxed? If your lips are tight or you're laughing or smiling, this is not going to work. You're going to get, right? So sometimes it helps to just kind of do this to your lips so you make sure they're relaxed. Or to just do like a little pursed lip. The other thing that is really crucial here is making sure that you're really engaging your breath and using enough air, and that you're continuing to use your air as you do this. So you can put your hands on your abdominal muscles and just see if you feel them engage a little bit as you do this. And then as you sustain the lip trill a little more, what you want to do is kind of resist that inward pull of the abdominal muscles at first. So you're not really seeing this pull in, but as you continue to sustain that, you're gonna feel those muscles start to pull in. And then you want that inward pull because it's helping you to really use all of the air that's in your lungs. A lot of times what happens is our body knows that it doesn't want us to be out of air, right? So we quickly give up when we get to a point where we've used the amount of air we're used to using. But you can kind of override that and push yourself a little further. But you have more air in there than you think, and to really sustain this, you may need to use a lot more of it than you think. So if I'm sustaining this for a long time, you're going to see that resistance to the inward pull, and then you're going to see the inward pull. So watch that. Now, as I'm getting towards the end of my air, I want to make sure that these muscles are working, but that I'm not simultaneously tightening here, right? So we want to keep this free. And this too, of course. So what you want to do is play around with kind of extending the amount of time that you can do on these if you're not able to hold it very long. And again, just doing that on single notes or doing little pulses is a great way to get started. Or you can do a downward slide. If you can't get all the way to that bottom note and you're just kind of petering out too soon, then really engage that air and really engage those abdominal muscles. Not, you don't want to overdo it, but make sure they're working. And think of crescendoing into that lowest note, that last note. So the other thing that happens is when we first start that lip trill, our lungs are full of air. A lot of times the lungs are going to want to just push that air out, right? That feeling of the lungs being very full is not comfortable for us, and the body would kind of prefer there to be a more medium amount of air in there. So we want to, that's why we want to resist that inward pull, but we also want to make sure that we are saving air for the end of the phrase so that we're not using all of our air on the first note and then running out like this. Right? So that's too much airflow at the beginning. So resist that airflow a little bit, but Sometimes people also fall into the trap of not using enough airflow and then nothing comes out, right? So those are all some tricks that you can use to play around with the lip trill. But if the lip trill doesn't work for you, you've got two more options in the same category of SOVTE. You have the tongue out trill or the raspberry, and you have the rolled R. So we'll explore those as well.